So I noticed this very interesting thing so I like to analyze successful people, right? Not just rich, but people who are successful in every field of life. And a big thing that I notice is that they're not always, or actually, they're never the same person that they were when they were in a different stage of their life, less successful, less accomplishments, less achievements. You can see a completely different shift in their character and the way that they carry themselves when they're successful. And if you've ever done this, I hope that you do. You tend to like re-engineer or kind of just like reverse engineer how they got to where they got to and how you can apply that to yourself. And the big thing that I noticed is that everyone can do this. And when you're aware of this, when you're aware of how you can do the specific thing I'm about to say, this is actually how you start to get results faster and faster and faster. And you can accelerate the time frame of results and almost collapse time to where you can literally see these results pretty fast. That's why you'll see some people, they'll rise monumentally in a short period of time. And you'll wonder, like, why? How did that happen? Was it luck? And yes, there's an aspect of luck to it. There's an aspect of divine timing. But there's something that I like to call identity shifting. And this is something that I've been experimenting with, and I haven't necessarily mastered yet, or I'd be in a whole different state. But I've even done it with YouTube. I've done it with a lot of different things that I'm trying to pursue in life. And people have to understand that, yes, you want the cars, you want the money, you want the material things, or maybe you want the spiritual aspect, you want to get closer to God, or you want to lose weight, or you want to gain muscle, whatever that looks like. There's something specific that you can do that you can actually fast forward those results in real time. Like right now, as you're watching this video should allow for you to be aware of this thing. And from there, you should start seeing drastic changes in your life every single day moving forward. And so identity shifting is this concept that you can actually become the best version of yourself right now. You can literally become that person instantly. Right? This is something that internally that you need to do. But the difference is, it's not that you're going to acquire the things that that person has, that your ideal self has. You're acquiring who that person is, which is something you can change instantaneously right now. And so I'll give you an example, right? Let's say that you want to lose a lot of fat, you want to build a lot of muscle, you want to get jacked, right? You have to start imagining who that person is in real time. Right? You need to start imagining, what does that person do? What does their day-to-day look like? What is their mindset? What are their habits, right? Okay, they get enough sleep. They get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, or maybe they get 6 hours of sleep. They eat consistently, right? They eat whole foods. They eat very healthy. They eat high protein, right? They go to the gym. They do these specific workouts, right? They tell themselves, they have these affirmations in their head that they talk about. They have this routine that's stuck, right? They have this different perspective of how they look at life. I want you to do this one thing, right? I want you to imagine the highest version of yourself, right? You're this person, you're wealthy, you're healthy, you have really strong relationships, and I want you to start really painting a picture of who that person is, who that ideal version of you actually is. What are their habits? What are their characteristics? How do they carry themselves? And what I want you to do is I want you to take all of those things, and I want you to really think about this and really feel what it feels like to be that person and bring it into the present moment. Become that person right now, right? You can literally do that as you're watching this video. You can become that person who is lean, who is jacked, who has muscle, who, has charisma. Who are they? And bring it to the current reality. That's all it is. All it is taking the future self and bringing it into the present self. That is how you become who you want to be now. And that's when results will start clicking. All the external will start rearranging into that specific person, right? Or into what that person has, into the environment that that person is. That person is you. It's just the future state of you. You're accelerating it in real time because you're becoming that person. Because as you see, the most successful people, it wasn't just luck. It wasn't just things that just manifested or anything like that. They just became the most successful person at the right time, and everything else fell into their life. Right? The person who, like, for example, for me, I have a lot of muscle. I had to become the person who had a lot of muscle before I got the muscle. So I had to go put in the work that that person put in to be able to get what they wanted or where they wanted to be. So it's the same with success. It's the same with money, right? You want to become the person who makes a lot of money. What do? right? How do they wake up? Do they go to sleep and wake up at 9, 10 o'clock? Or do they wake up at 4 a.m., get most of their work done when everyone else is sleeping? And by the time people get up, they already have 5 hours worth of work done, right? So they're productive, right? They're efficient, they're effective. The minute you start thinking this way, the minute you start seeing who that person is, finding the characteristics, seeing how they feel, you can now take that because you can visualize it and you're aware of it and bring it into your current state. You have to understand, and this is more of a metaphysical thing, but it's science too. Everything is just a set of vibrations, right? That's why some people say, oh, vibrating higher, or nowadays people will say, what's the vibe, right? Oh, he's a vibe, or I like positive vibes only, right? That is genuinely a scientific thing where everything is a wavelength, a vibrational wavelength. And you need to match that vibrational wavelength to become and attract the things that that person has. So that's one thing that I want to leave to you is you have to be able to internalize things that that person is and literally become that person in real time. Act like that person. How does that person walk? How does that person talk? Does that person read all the time? Okay, what are they reading, right? And instead of just wishing that you could be that person or hoping that you can become that person now. That is an action step you can take right now to become the best version of yourself. I'm going through this process right now, right? I'm changing my habits. I'm changing what I'm doing to become the person I want to be right now, so that way everything accelerates. To collapse time, right? Time is easily collapsible if you understand how it works. If you understand that becoming that greatest version of yourself can happen right now, you can speed up the process, because there are some people, they're not aware of it, and it takes them 20, 30 years to become that best version of themselves. But to do that, they had to change who they were. They had to change their character. They had to build their character so that they could build the assets that come along with that character. Everything starts with the inside. Everything starts with who you are on the inside. The minute you can actually change what's on the inside, that's when all of the external things start to come into play. Most of us, especially you watching, I'm sure you focus a lot on the external things, the external goals that you want, the outcome, which is fine. Think about the outcome, but also think about the inputs that are needed to actually get that output, and commit to those inputs right now in this moment. That is actually how you become the best version of yourself right then and there, right? You're not going to see your external change right away, but it will happen a lot quicker than if you weren't aware of this identity shifting concept, right? Because your identity is everything. If you identify as a fat person, you will inherit fat person traits. And when you inherit fat person traits, you will become the fat person. If you identify as a depressed person, you will carry the traits of a depressed person, which is you lay in bed all day, you're sad, you're wandering, you don't have a solid purpose in life. You are going to become the depressive person right then and there, and it will just cascade over time. So your goal to really become the best version of yourself as quickly as possible, because we as humans, we care about instant gratification, right? So if you have the ability to become the person to actually start, and they say fake it till you make it. This is the best way. I'm not saying fake it by buying or renting Lambos and taking pictures of it and making it seem like you're that person, but you need to fake that you are the person who owns those things, and do it consistently to the point where you start to get those things because you're just that person. It's almost like you're brainwashing yourself. That's how hypnotism works, right? People get hypnotized. And hypnosis, all it is shifting your state. Right? It's shifting your mind state. It's shifting your mind state to a different outcome, to the person who inhabits a different outcome. The confidence, the charisma, the tenacity, the hard work, all of those things you can capture in real time. And you can become that person in real time. But you need to be aware that this exists. You need to be aware of this concept. This is a universal law that you can become the person that you want to be right now, and then by default attract all of the things that that person gets. I'm telling you, this is a very powerful concept. The minute you understand it, the minute you do it, that's the minute your life changes for the better, and it happens quickly. You start seeing things happen quick. This has happened to me before, and it happens to me now. The minute I start identifying as the person I want to be, everything starts moving fast. All the things that I wanted start coming to me a lot faster. But it does take a level of willpower. You have to have the will to be able to become that person. It's not easy. Being a hyper successful person is not fun. It's not something that you're going to enjoy, but you will enjoy the process. You will enjoy the character building journey that will get you to where you want to be. Most of you, especially you right now, speaking right now, you want to be that person. You want to have what that person has without being the person. You being who you are right now, you have everything that you have around you, all the problems you have, all of the successes you have. All of the things that you've gotten up until this point is because of your character. It's because of who you are on the inside. It's not until you transform the internal to where you then get the external, right? This is a mental shift. It's all a perspective shift. The minute you shift your perspective into the perspective of a successful person, there's no reason why you will not attract and get the things that that successful person gets, because you've changed the inputs that lead to the outputs. It's all math. In math, if you put a certain input in, you get a certain output. If you change that input, you get a change of output. So you have to make sure that you can change the internal to then get the external so that you can get everything that you want in life. And sometimes as you do this, you'll start to realize, wait, I actually don't want those things, because the person that embodies, the person that those things attracts, I'm not willing to become that person, right? So you have to understand that, and you have to internalize it. You have to realize, and it's going to be quick, that, hey, I really like being this person right now, so I'm going to stick with this, and that's what I want. So instead of wanting the things that that person has, want to become the person, and then become that person right then and there. Do everything that that person does, make it a routine, and now you become the person and you bring everything else in. So once you have this perspective shift, once you do this, you can do this literally as you're watching this video. I don't need you to close your eyes and meditate. I want you to be aware of who you are right now, and it being the reason why you have everything you have, it being the reason why you look the way you look, it be the reason why you attract what you attract, and realize, do I want to stay here or do I want more? And if I want more, who is the person that has those things? Go research people who have what you have. Look at their character traits and embody those character traits, because that's what's going to help you get to your goal a lot faster than just a vision board, than just dreaming about it, than just talking about it. I don't believe in talking. I believe in doing. I believe in embodying. I believe in becoming. So you need to become the person who gets those things so you can get those things, right? That is the biggest shift you can ever make in your life. It will literally transform you. If you're young right now, if you do this, I promise you, you'll see a whole different life very quickly. Even if you're older, you will see things change quick. Then you snap, right? And little things will change. And those little things will compound into bigger things to where it completely changes your whole life, right? Your whole environment can change. You can literally imagine this person in the environment. How do they act? How do they think? What do they do? Do they read books? What kind of books do they read? Okay, now I have to go read those now, right? Not tomorrow, now. How do they talk? Okay, I need to talk like that now. How do they dress? Okay, I need to dress like that now. Let me go to the store and get whatever I need to get to become that person, right? How do they articulate themselves? Are they very well articulated? Well, I need to practice my speech. I need to practice how I communicate to other people. I need to read how to win friends and influence people. Read these books that talk about communication, that talk about reciprocity, and then become that person at the very moment. That's what I've noticed. The most successful people in the world, if you look at them when they weren't successful and when they are successful, two completely different things. I actually studied Andrew Tate a lot because I think it's fascinating. Again, I don't need to agree with everything he says, but I do realize that you can see before, when he was in his kickboxing days, he was a version of himself, completely unrecognizable. And then who he is now is a completely different person than who he was before. He still had the traits of a successful person, but he needed to add the essence, the aura, the energy of that person. He needed to vibrate at the level that he was to become who he is. You look at Warren Buffett, it's the same thing, right? You look at all of these successful people in their arenas, and you notice, like even David Goggins, you can look at him when he was overweight, when he was fat, he was eating Twinkies, he was eating all of these things, he wasn't running. He had to embody the person that he is now when when he was fat. So when he was fat, that's when he started to embody that person. So that's what you need to do to actually get what you want in the present moment. It's easy to change if you're aware of it. And once you're aware of it, you can't be unaware of it. This is the identity shifting concept that, I'm going to start teaching. And I will have a mindset course that's going to be dropping very soon, probably this weekend, if not early next week. I encourage you guys to go check it out. The link will be in the description for all of my resources that I have. This is something that I'm going to go in depth into the mind, how I've been able to build an iron mind, how I've been able to understand these concepts that have been changing my life rapidly as I go. And the thing is, when you become this person, it doesn't mean that you won't have challenges. Your life is going to give you challenges. Life is going to give you things that are going to challenge your character. And once you are solidified in this character, it will be easy to keep the traits of that character. But it takes the awareness first, right? So internalize this, take this video, share it with anybody who is looking to become the best version of themselves, because this is the shortcut to be able to do that. This is the perspective shift that you needed to be able to do that. I hope this unlocks a lot in your life, all right? If you like this video, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know of other concepts that you want me to talk about, struggles that you've been dealing with. And again, we're building a community here. So I want to be able to provide as much value to you guys as possible, nuanced value, things that you don't necessarily see on the internet a lot, and just open your minds the way that I'm opening my mind at this moment. So thanks for watching the video. Hope to see you on the next video. Have a good rest of your day.